John Cena.
Enough is enough, okay? Stop. Please, I'm begging you. Stop with the Xbox better and all my replies in an entire comment section. It was a one-time meme, and now my own audience has turned it against me. Maybe this is how Reforge Gaming and MPG felt when they saw it. Oh my god. And also, enough with claiming I'm a VTuber. I am a PNG tuber. I will not be putting up with this harassment much longer.
Nobody's a VTuber. I don't want to hear that word here again.
You can make it up to me by giving me a lot of likes and a lot of subscriptions, and you're gonna do it right now. It's gonna take a lot more than some bullying to get me to become a VTuber. But in other news, it's been a great week. John Cena turned heel. It was fantastic. Trump embarrassed Zelensky in front of millions of people. I've been enjoying myself, you know, other than having this audience constantly brigade me with Xbox better. It's like, this is their way of saying, frick, give us salt or we're gonna spam you 24/7. You want salt? I've got salt for you. It's a salt buffet. The second best item on the menu next to the baked potato is that pile of glorious pony salt. I know what you subscribed for originally, so now I'm cursed with giving it to you forever until the day I die, which isn't soon enough. So, let's begin. So, the man with the forehead that stretches further than the I-5 highway can possibly go, posted a video that's been making the rounds and restoring faith and honor in the PlayStation fanboy community.
You're stealing our fanboys! Destroy the round dice!
For those that aren't PlayStation fanboys, everything you're about to see looks like pure mental illness, and that's because it is. Reforge has devoted his channel to defending PlayStation and being angry at Xbox for giving him games on his preferred platform, which angers him for some reason, and led to, well, this rant.
That's why I don't really hold back on this anymore. These people were actively astroturfing for Microsoft. They were actively misleading the public. I'm not pulling my punches on this anymore. I'm not being nice. There's no reason to be nice about it. Misleading the public isn't the same as having an opinion. You could have the opinion that you like one platform over another. You can have an opinion that you want an ABK to happen. I don't care about that. You can have those opinions and you can have those loyalties to Xbox as a brand. But to actively grab things that that man said and then use them in the way that I guarantee that's what he wanted to happen. He wanted that interview with Windows Central to convince people, no, it's not happening.
All right, pause. I have to ask myself, at what point are you going to stop being angry towards the brand that you don't even own and refuse to play and start focusing on the brand that you do own and has been consistently letting you down with their releases and their products? It's all mouth shut. Zip. Nothing to say. But you know what's the real issue? The brand that you don't even care for. The brand that you will never play on. That's what baffles me. It makes absolutely no sense. The dude thinks he's cooking, but in all reality, he's saying the exact same things he says every week. He says, I'm not holding back, not pulling any punches, and yet I'm hearing all the same exact things I've been hearing from him for well over 2 years. Nothing has changed on his end. This is not a monumental breakthrough. This is the same rhetoric that, well, admittedly, and he seems to understand it, fanboys tune in to listen to. Because Xbox doing bad, for some reason, makes them feel better about the fact that PlayStation has canceled over 11 games, outright shut down multiple studios, servers, and has nothing for you for nearly an entire year. Call me crazy, but when Xbox is providing more consistent content and new titles, by the way, new, not the same remastered titles you played last generation, but new titles, shouldn't Xbox be the brand that you're actually thanking for keeping your console relevant with something to play right now? I've had to sit and hear this dude nag about Xbox for so long, and I'm wondering, how is it that what they do irks you, but then all Sony has to show you is a remaster of Days Gone, and then you jump up like a schoolgirl and go, woohoo!
Yes!
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kind of retarded.
Like, come on. It's absolutely ridiculous. The glazing for Sony at some point has to stop.
That's what he wanted to happen. He wanted that interview with Windows Central to convince people, no, it's not happening. That was the goal. That was the intention. The intention with the podcast was that everybody would run with it and astroturf and basically make it seem like everything's fine, nothing's going. They were astroturfing. They weren't all saying the same things in the same phrases by accident.
Oh my God, the sheer hypocrisy is mind-blowing. This is coming straight out of the mouth of a dude who for 2 years has consistently been saying, they're never gonna do day and date on PC, it's never gonna happen. And when it happens, what does he do? He moves the goalpost. Oh, we meant it's never gonna be first party PlayStation Studio single player games. Trying to very specifically narrow it down to the point that they can keep the argument alive. And how do they come up with these arguments? Well, the exact same way he's talking about it with Xbox. Astroturfing. Impressive, Reforge. You found a new word to roll with for the month. It's hilarious. He does the exact same thing, using drip-fed news given to him by PlayStation higher-ups, and then somehow trying to spin it into a positive narrative for PlayStation. So, I mean, of course, the guy who does it more than anybody else in the room would be an expert at identifying it, because I will say he is right. So many of those Xbox guys do just blindly go off what Phil Spencer says, but likewise, the same goes for Reforge, so it makes no sense why he keeps track of all of these points and arguments in his head and somehow forgets all the nonsense he said earlier. I mean, we're talking about a guy who outright puts down PC gamers and PC gaming because he claims that it's all piracy here. Why don't we go get our own games? We don't deserve PlayStation titles, and then spews outdated misinformation on PC gaming.
Here's an idea. Maybe get your own game. Do you ever consider that? Maybe PlayStation investing in their ecosystem, their hardware, maybe Mark Cerny creating a relationship of trust with developers for the PlayStation 5. Maybe somebody in the PC realm should do that. Maybe do that before talking big about PlayStation not bringing games to PC fast enough. Or here's a brilliant idea. Buy a PS5.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
And a hit dog barks. If you don't like me saying this, it's because I'm hitting a bullseye. It's like they knew what they were doing. They were keeping the public in the dark, willfully. They weren't doing this unwittingly. These people have been in the industry too long for me to believe that.
What were they keeping in the dark? Information that would make just fanboys and blind loyalists angry? Ooh, oh no, why should I care? It brings me joy to see Xbox guys get angry about this, just as much as it brings me joy to see PlayStation guys get angry about PC ports. It's like they forget that us PC gamers do not care about this, and yet he wants to lump us in with that group, so that's why I'm here to talk shit.
So yeah, you can be mad at Xbox. You can be mad at Phil. You should also be mad at the outlets, YouTubers, podcasters, and pundits who played the game. They played the game. And they're playing the game now. They're playing the game now. Phil blows the dog whistle, acts like exclusives are bad, acts like exclusives are anti-consumer, and now they're all saying the same thing.
Okay, hold on. So the guy who was complaining that Microsoft might make Call of Duty exclusive and why that would be bad doesn't recognize why exclusives are bad for consumers? Seriously? Mind you, this is the same Phil Spencer who told off Crap Gamer when he complained about Xbox games going to PC. And he gave him the same answer he gives a lot of people. Honestly, I'm not gonna play the rest of this clip because it's gonna be the same shit we hear from Reforge every week. Nothing is different here. If Xbox was doing what he wanted, he would not be in favor of them. Because he's chosen a side, and he stays very loyal to that side. It's why he targets PC gamers who don't own consoles, like me. What Microsoft is doing doesn't negatively affect us, so why should we care? The only reason we care about this conversation is because we're dragged into it. And the truth is, as long as PC gamers are in the same room with you, you don't really have any arguments. Instead, you guys did the exact same thing Xbox guys are doing. Damage controlling the inevitable. When Xbox first started porting to PC, Xbox fanboys were doing the exact same thing you're doing. Word for word. Same timeline too. If you are buying consoles for exclusive content, you are a fool. And mind you, those of you who've been watching me for a long time, you already know my sentiment. I was right, all of you were wrong. Which is why you guys have consistently been false flagging, false copyright striking my content, which YouTube just recently released a bunch of those copyright claims on a lot of videos I worked hard on to produce, because you guys can't silence me. You hate the truth. All you ponies do is continue to perpetuate this idea that the console wars are a thing. They are not. Either way, what Reforge is crying about here with, influencers like Colt Eastwood, Paris, Destin, I would be able to agree with him if likewise we also didn't have PlayStation dudes and podcasts and websites that do the same thing. Everything from Colin Moriarty to Greg Miller to a specific website known as Icon Era. And you know what's funny about Icon Era? The person who tweets for the account of this website has been spamming anti-PC, anti-Xbox articles for years, or should I say forums. They even had one giant forum.
And I present you the great intellect, the greatest minds of the pony community. Here is Icon Era. This is priceless. I mean, what a way to start. It's a Sir Brovian, another grifter. The PC and Xbox fanboys love this guy after angry PlayStation fanboys attacked after his Xbox Series X controller video. This is absolutely brilliant. I mean, the very first thing that they say, they expose themselves. First of all, they expose themselves for not really watching the content they're trying to commentate and criticize, because that video wasn't about a controller. Now, I know I'm holding one, and that might confuse your little bitty brain. But if you'd actually watched it, you'd have understood that the video itself, the context is that I was opening up about how I feel about the Xbox, having now tried it.
You are fake news.
Calling every single person that doesn't hate what Xbox is doing an Xbox shill. And some of those people don't even have an Xbox console. Going from, oh no, it's Alex, to Sir Brovian, who just barely started playing on Xbox. This website begged for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 to be exclusive. This website celebrates every single day, claiming day and date won't happen on PC. This website does a whole lot of things. And guess who this website super chats?
I don't feel like they're there to talk in good faith. Yo, good to see you, Brian King. He's from Icon Era, and he's always so kind to me. Thank you. He's from Icon Era, and he's always
so kind to me. Thank you.
It's a big club, and you ain't in it.
Ho, 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 ho! Would you look at that? Slimy little fuck. The hypocrisy of this after having a 4-minute long passionate rant about Xbox folks. This dude gladly accepts the money from diehard PlayStation fanboys who literally spend all day on this website because it's an echo chamber where PlayStation is highly, and I mean highly defended, and every other platform is put down. You get such amazing discussions like, Microsoft is shutting down Skype. Will Xbox be next? Every day on this website, they're counting down the day. Xbox users no longer have a console to play on. I don't know. It's a really weird website. It's a massive hate boner for PC gamers and Xbox gamers. And this Brian75 guy is a founder, meaning this dude actively participates in console warring in his own website and then spams all of the anti-Xbox and anti-PC articles on Twitter. This is the dude one could call the equivalent of a Colt Eastwood in Paris, but Reforge is A-okay with him, even though he perpetuates console wars. Because again, this hypocrisy goes entirely unchecked. Except when it comes to me. That's why they all block me. That's why they all avoid talking to me, because they know I will make them look like a fool in front of everyone. They don't like how effective my words are because it ruins their brand image. They're supposed to look like intellectual powerhouses, and I make them look like kindergartners. One of those folks being, of course, NIB. You know, Nib, the man who spends all day on Twitter writing giant essays, completely defeating the purpose of a tweet, just so he can console war, so he can damage control for Sony and put Xbox down and blah blah. You know how it is. These guys have been doing this for like, what, a decade? But Nib is a revolutionary. He's the first to try and make it look like a philosophy and like there's intellectual individuals involved in this console warring. There's not. As far as I'm concerned, each and every single one of them is a retard, because look at the way he replies to Reforge's rant. As Reforge covers here, it really does seem like a cabal of Xbox influencers and journalists regurgitate or propagandize whatever talking points or strategy Phil Spencer Xbox favors, even if it requires whiplash, inducing flip-flops or misinformation. Everything from Series X will have huge multi-platform and power advantage. Series S will sell for, oh my god, this just goes on and on and on and on. Wow, this guy legitimately keeps track of console war points in his head. I'm sorry, but you have to be autistic in order to keep track of any of this. This is insane. The man is writing miniature novels over tweets. You cannot convince me this isn't mental illness. I mean, this is just insane. I have never seen someone so passionate, so dedicated, so devoted to hating on Xbox. I mean, oh my god. It's like you can tell all of those points have been building up in him, frustrating him for years, and he's just letting it all out. I don't know why, because he'll do it again the very next day tomorrow. So at this point, he has just programmed his brain to regurgitate console war points. The man has no actual substance to his arguments. It all boils down to Xbox is doing bad and Sony is doing good, and the results of that haven't even benefited him. So it makes no sense. Like, Sony doing good has backfired. 75 million console sales and nothing noteworthy. If there were PlayStation games, he wouldn't have essays to write. He would be gaming. But then again, I question if he even is that, you know, a gamer. I question whether any of these guys are. Most of them boot up as many games as possible, put in an hour and call it a day. None of them really dedicate as much time as possible to playing what they purchased. If they did, there would be no incentive to be on Twitter. And the dude doesn't seem to understand why people think it's absolutely ridiculous that he goes out of his way to write these long ass tweets. It'd be one thing if it's one tweet, but this dude does this for nearly every single tweet of his. He is a console war philosopher, and such a title is worth bullying and making fun of and putting down. There's just simply nothing more cringe than a douchebag who thinks he's the smartest man in the room while having to use as many words as possible to say something that only takes a few. And then also exposing how much of a tourist they are to the hobby. It's why Reforge is made fun of. And yet he'll get tweets from very low IQ individuals praising him like he's the next Frederick Nietzsche. Any guesses on who he's referring to? I think the shills we said was shills in 2020, you know. Paris, Colt, Gaz, Digital Foundry, Grove. Wait, hold on, wait. Digital Foundry? Digital Foundry are Xbox shills? Why? Where did this come from? Every day I'm hearing from Xbox guys, they're PlayStation shills. And then I hear from PlayStation guy, no, they're Xbox shills. And then I hear from both of them, no, they're PC shills. And all I think to myself is, no, Digital Foundry are shills of their own channel. How delusional you gotta be where you're running out of people to legitimately call as shills, so you're just throwing anything against the wall and hoping it sticks. These guys are crazy. These are the people who follow and support Reforge. And to think it goes even deeper with founders to PlayStation propaganda websites like Icon Era. Reforge Gaming is the very thing he criticizes. But as long as there's 75 million console units sold, then he'll feel like he's winning while owners of the actual PS5 feel like they're losing. And then they wonder why channels like mine succeed, and I'll tell you why they succeed. It's because the majority of gamers don't care about this trivial console war nonsense anymore. As an outsider, to most people, it looks like pure lunacy. And such individuals should be bullied and humiliated non-stop, and no punches should be pulled, as Reforge would say. All the more reason why console gaming brands, or any gaming brand in general, should not be rooted for like it's a goddamn sports team. Because there are no legitimate benefits to any of them winning. Winners of the console war lead to more scams, more price hikes, more complacency, and more anti-consumer practices. And the losers lead to more people being able to play their games and cheaper and more affordable deals and more consumer benefits. There is nothing more I love than to see consumer loyalty backfire in the faces of die-hard fanboys, because it should never be that way. You should not be loyal to a brand. That brand should be loyal to you as a consumer. You should be the one taking advantage of them. But instead, you let it happen the opposite way. And now here we are, a PS5 with no actual exclusive content, an Xbox with no actual exclusive content, and yet the winners are us, the gamers, and the losers are you, the ones that chose a side in such a stupid console war. Your loyalty, all this defense force for your brand has led to nothing for you, and you will sit there with 50k subs still displaying blind loyalty for Sony. But anyways, with that being said, that's enough from me. Like, comment, share, and or subscribe if you so choose to. That being said, I'll see you in the next one.
Fritongo sucks ass.